of Nawash, now known as the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation, as the traditional keepers of this land. We honor them for having lived here and cared for this land from time immemorial. We appreciate the opportunity to live, work, and play in this beautiful place.
You're watching Rogers TV.
And welcome everyone to the Meaford and St. Vincent Community Center. Game 2 of 2 on the weekend as the Owen Sound North Stars look to go 2 for 2 on the weekend as the Brooklyn Merchants make their way here to Meaford. Spencer Byers, and alongside me is, of course, Steve McCarthy, and you see there Deacon Knott in the net for the Brooklyn Merchants, a team that was battling Six Nations for the championship just last year. They are the host this year of the President's Cup, and I know, Steve, you know Declan Knott rather well from coaching him with Oshawa in the Arena Lacrosse League.
Yeah, Declan coming off his second season in Philadelphia in NLL, and he did get some playing time this year, and he just continues to improve after his Minto Cup championship year with Burlington in 2023, I believe, yeah.
Gavin Clark in the net again for Owen Sound. Makes a lot of sense. He's been spectacular for them in the 2 games he has played in this season. It is his first year in the OSL, so for the first time tonight, we'll have 2 goalies that are not making their first appearance in the OSL, as Ennismore also had a rookie netminder in their cage just last night. But here we go between Brooklyn and Owen Sound. Stevenson in the dot for the North Stars. That ball is won, and it should be picked up by Owen Sound, and it is. Dogue got it back to Barfoot, the captain, and now Dogue up the floor. Rob Clover now in the offensive end. Not something we see a lot of him doing, but he's now going behind the net. As Jordan McMillan is back in the lineup here tonight. So is Fitzpatrick, who's on the floor. McMillan fires, scores! Jordan McMillan, 24 seconds in, makes his impact known. 1-0 Owen Sound.
Yeah, Jordan not really known as a perimeter shooter, but there was a nice little pick set up right in front of Deacon Knott's view, I think, and it slid between the 5-hole, and it was likely screened a little on that, but a great start for Owen Sound, going 1 for 1 with shots and goals.
I'm not going to mention the scoreline in yesterday's first period between Owen Sound and Ennismore out of fear of being a jinx, but it was a hot start yesterday for the North Stars as well, and they're continuing that here today, as the faceoff this time is picked up by the Merchants, and they will make their way into the floor to get their first offensive possession. Liam Osborne now with it down the floor. Osborne waiting for some reinforcement, and he'll play it back. Renault running up the floor. Ed plays it down. That's Devin Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer looking to fire. Pfeiffer plays it down behind the net. Osborne in front, never got into the stick there of the shooter, and that ball will bounce around, and it will go into the corner for a shot clock violation against Brooklyn. Good defense again there by Owen Sound.
Yeah, a little bit of luck there. I mean, they certainly worked a little quick 2-man game down low and created an opportunity there for Brooklyn, but they weren't able to keep the pass alive. So
trying to get away there was Dawson McKenzie. He plays it back now there for the potent shooter that is Jake McNabb. Retrieved again by McKenzie. He'll have to fire from a mile away. That one saved by Knox, and he'll get the whistle. Knox are looking for it, and he'll now retrieve it.
That's back in.
Well, I was actually wondering that, Steve, because he retreated technically outside of the paint.
He walked out of the paint and then walked back in, and the referee right on hand there and didn't pick up on it.
Little sleight of hand, if you will, is Parker Pfeiffer. Now for Malloy. Renault will fire and scores! And Renault gets himself on the board. 2 markers early, ties it at 1.
Yeah, and again, just too easy. You got to cut that top side off so they can't come across and let that shot go through traffic. And as you'll see here, it was too much time and space here. Not sure who it was coming out on it, but it was Robbie Clover. Just never got in position, didn't get that inside lead, and there we go, all knotted up at once.
Renault was tied for the point lead on his team with Parker Pfeiffer at 81, led the team with 35 goals, and a violation there against Stevenson will give possession there to the Merchants. Parker Pfeiffer back up top for Malloy. Malloy looking for Renault. Renault never got there, and it will be retrieved by Barfoot. And Barfoot will go for a run. Gets around Renault, bounces it, and it will be retrieved there by Dogue, who will wait. Off for Jordan McMillan. Plays over now for Dawson McKenzie. McKenzie down low for McNabb. Great shot there, and a good save by Knox.
Yeah,
by Knott.
Nice footwork there by...
Quickly played up. You had to stop your train of thought there.
Yep.
As it looked like Quinn Highland was going to go for a break, but he thought better of it.
Yeah, pretty good idea. I mean, Brooklyn has such a potent offense, even though they're missing a few guys here, that unless you got a breakaway, just pull it out and let them go to work.
And that's off the post. Rifled off there by Parker Pfeiffer as Devin was able to retrieve it. Back for Devin Pfeiffer. There's 3 of them. I'll try to differentiate between the Pfeiffers. Devin now looking for an option. Devin wears 19, Parker wears 91. That ball's tucked, and it was saved there, and it immediately is picked up by Jake Doolittle. Doolittle will get run into the boards there, but runs through the check of Parker Pfeiffer, and will play it off now. That got into the hands of Braden Kruger. Kruger trying to find a lane. Kruger getting hooked up as he'll now just roll it to Keegan McElmoyle. McElmoyle plays it around now. McNabb. That shot by McElmoyle. Good save. McElmoyle goes to retrieve. Ball batted around and is finally picked up there by Maloney. Maloney gives it off there to Peyton Wallace. Wallace off for Darren Elliott, and Elliott will go to work. Elliott plays it back. Nice pass, but never in a shooting lane there was Osborne. Osborne then gets it knocked out of his stick and taken there by Klopfer, who gets the screen from his netminder, Gavin Clark. And away will go Owen Dale. Dale off for Jordan Cascanet. Cascanet now over for McMillan. McMillan over now for Cascanet. Back for McNabb. McNabb down low, and there's going to be a whistle, and it's going to be, I think, an illegal screen there off Maudsley behind the play. Good opportunity, though, for Owen Sound, as it looked like Rob Harris was wide open there. Well, mention, Rob Harris had to switch helmets. His white helmet is gone. He's now wearing a full black cage. He now lost the aesthetic, Steve. White gloves, white shoes, black helmet. Played back now by the Merchants. Good save there by Clark off Elliott. Into the boards there, Parker Pfeiffer goes. Away now will come Owen Sound quickly as that ball's played over to Andrew Kelly. Kelly had a couple rush chances yesterday against the James gang in a 13-4 win. Colin Maudsley now will cruise his way down. Maudsley gets the screen. That shot whistled wide and will end up going into the netting as quickly picked up by Knott.
Yeah, again, as they did score early in the game on a perimeter shot, you're not going to score very many on Deacon Knott from out there. So Owen Sound really has to start working to get something happening inside or down low.
And now away will go Renault. Renault, great save there by Clark. Renault got the red carpet rolled out for him as there's going to be a minor going against Owen Sound, it looks like. Not sure who got it. Looks like Barfoot's the one going off. Ooh, there's some jawing there at the floor between Stevenson and looks like Devin Pfeiffer. And again, I said it yesterday against the James gang. Of all the guys to go at it with the North Stars, I'd say Carson Stevenson may be at the bottom of that list of just size and strength alone. As it does look like Barfoot is going to sit for an illegal cross-check, so the power play of the Merchants will go to work. Trying to get their first lead of the night. Renault, Pfeiffer, back for the other Pfeiffer. That ball got deflected. Renault trying to retrieve it, and they're going to call that, and they're going to give it back as Doolittle tried to give the extra shove. Renault, Devin Pfeiffer, Parker Pfeiffer. That shot scores!
Yeah, you're not going to want to take penalties today against the Merchants because they will be potent on the power play, even if they're missing a few offensive guys.
And there may be another minor coming here to Owen Sound.
They certainly have the 5 guys they can put out on that power play are all potent and have all been scorers in this league.
As the Merchants take their first lead of the night via Parker Pfeiffer. No minor does come to Owen Sound after a little bit of jawing there after the marker. Back into the dot goes Carson Stevenson. That ball is won back though by Robert Morgan, and away will go the Merchants. Played back there for Peroni as Renault takes a bump. He'll fire over for Osborne. Osborne, what a pass! And I think the save was made there by Clark. They're not going to agree with me, so actually just never got there in the end. That shot from a mile away, thought it better and tried to twist her, and that one does not make its way on target. Osborne fired back there for Devin Pfeiffer, never got on target, and that will be an over and back. As it looks like Klopfer and Devin Pfeiffer are getting tangled up still. As Jordan McMillan will start with it there deep in the corner. McMillan for Cascanet. Finally back on offense will come Owen Sound. Cascanet for Maudsley.
And somehow they managed to get 4 lefties out there. So again,
Ooh, and Maudsley getting grabbed up there by the littlest Pfeiffer. They're in Zach Pfeiffer. And they're going to send Colin Maudsley here. Not sure if that's the only penalty coming, but I'm not 100% sure.
No, I think Owen Sound is going to get 2. They have
So
an
Wade's
illegal
gonna go-
cross-check and an unsportsmanlike conduct. So
Colin
again,
Maudsley's going to go sit, and Jordan McMillan are going to go sit, which will mean it's 5-on-3 if the Merchants don't get one themselves, and it doesn't look like they're gonna.
no,
so-
this will not bode well.
No, it will not.
Again, you expect more from your veteran players early in a tight game. Taking shots under the back on the pick. It's one thing to be a hard pick, but when you've got 4 lefties out there trying to pick on ball, there's no room to operate. Someone's got to have a heads up and get to the bench and get a righty out there, and then take a chirping penalty afterwards is just digging the hole even deeper.
That it is. As McMillan's now talking to the referee here, and I'm not 100% sure. Are they letting McMillan out? They are letting McMillan out. So actually, Maudsley got both. So I'm not sure if it's better that he got 2 minors instead of the 5-on-3. Because you'd say that they get the advantage of the extra defender there, Steve, but against the Merchants, I'm not sure that's really going to matter.
Yeah, I'm not certain it is either. They're pretty, again, they'll need some outstanding goaltending and some possessions to rag the 30-second clock a little and try to get out of here with maybe only letting 1 in.
Parker Pfeiffer, Devin Pfeiffer, over. Right across for Parker Pfeiffer. That one, I believe, goes off of Clark.
No.
And wait a second, and Brooklyn can't believe it's going to go the other way. And it's going to go the other way.
Yeah, I think that ball
Got
might
pounded
have
into the pavement,
hit the
Steve.
pavement and then went out, yeah.
That's where you have to wonder if we get a replay of that one there, the great Mark Perry here in a moment, as Rob Klopfer will go to rag it, and Klopfer's going to get taken to the boards and take a couple bumps for his trouble.
Yeah, again, but this is just, we saw this yesterday where
Oh,
Rob,
well, Rob's getting out of it there for a second. He'll get forced back in, and he may now lose it. He's got about 15 left to chew here as he's really getting fought with. Loses possession now, and Rob's now getting fought with there, and Rob's going to go.
but again, you want to keep the ball moving, spread it out, and not,
Get stuck.
That's very taxing trying to do that, and to be a guy like Rob who plays a lot of minutes here on the D.
Devin Pfeiffer passed it. That one whistled wide there by Darren Elliott. Down's going to go Parker Pfeiffer, and they're going to get the possession back there to the Merchants with a fresh shot clock to boot. As Ed Renault will start with it. Devin Pfeiffer. Back for Parker. Parker. Played over for Elliott. Pfeiffer. Back for Parker. That shot saved there by Clark and quickly retrieved by Barfoot, who's going to take a couple bumps for his trouble. Can he get away? Ball loose. Going to have to just whack it because he's got the 8-second. And that one's whistled away, and it's going to stay with Owen Sound, which will mean a fresh shot clock.
Yeah, the Merchants were whacking at him and actually hit the ball out of bounds, so it was a little bit lucky there, but they're going to need to move that and get away from the top. Yep, there we go.
Nice. Away will go Rob Harris, and Harris in with a break. Harris! Great save there by Deacon Knott, but picked up by Jordan McMillan, who's going to have to race away. Great job there by Rob Harris, just a lack of assignment there by the Merchants, and there's going to be a whistle here as Jordan McMillan got thrown down. I didn't really get a chance to see that, as poor Jordan McMillan got thrown. As away will go Darren Elliott, who I will mention, or actually, no, pardon me. I actually believe that is Lucas
Rizzetti.
And Rizzetti, he's using the woody. He's not using the normal carbon fiber. So maybe a little bit of intimidation factor, you could say.
Yeah, except the stick is about twice the size of his arms and legs, so I don't know how intimidating he is.
Very true. As now it's a 4-on-4 opportunity for both teams as McMillan looks to fire, scores! Jordan McMillan gets his second of the night! 2-2 with 11:55 left in the first.
And again, very uncharacteristic of Jordan with the outside shot, but well placed underneath Deacon's glove, and again, he's picking up where he left off in the first game of the year where he had a hot hand against Six Nations.
He's one of the few guys on the Owen Sound team who did not play yesterday that is dressed today, so maybe that little extra rest is helping him here tonight. And Owen Sound could use that as this game goes on.
Yeah, that's a big goal, and then that penalty to Renzetti is a great equalizer here.
Rob Kloepfer will try to get away here. Kloepfer will go down. Whistle hasn't gone yet, so he's got to get it over here. Rob will now get it over, and it's passed forward for Doak. Waiting for some offensive options is now McNabb will retrieve. McNabb play down for Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick right around. Fitzpatrick, great shot there on Knott, but makes the save. Fitzpatrick, one of the other newcomers to the lineup from yesterday to today. That ball bounced forward, and now away will come Zach Pfeiffer. Do they have all three on the floor? No, looks like they won't have all three on the floor, just to make my life a little easier. Only having two. As Devin Pfeiffer with possession. Parker rushing in. Devin Pfeiffer shot it right into the net there of the netminder. Trying to get possession there is Owen Sound. 54 seconds left from the 4-on-4. Devin Pfeiffer getting fought with there with Jake Doolittle. And that ball's going to get flung up there by Kelly as he was going to run in the restricted area. That ball bounced into the glass now, and down's going to go a North Star, and away the ball should go Owen Sound's way as Devin Pfeiffer collided there with Colin Kiddo. And now Colin Kiddo smartly will hand it off to Rob Harris, and Rob Harris will cruise in. Harris over for Dawson McKenzie. McKenzie back down for McNabb. McNabb fires, scores! Jake McNabb with the no-look over the shoulder. Gives Owen Sound the lead again.
Yeah, well executed two-man game. You saw Dawson McKenzie come up, throw the, release the shot after Jake had come up, roll off the pick, and went to the net. Both Merchants went to the ball carrier, and Jake with a crafty little backhand there, short side to beat Deacon, and yeah, well executed.
We'll mention, I had 7 goals for Jake McNabb yesterday. There are still no stats on the OSL site, so using my unofficial score sheet, that's his 11th goal of the season. I had him 3 in the first game against Six Nations, 7 yesterday, 1 now today, makes it 11 for Jake McNabb, who has been spectacular over the last 2 days. That shot right into the Gavin Clark pads, that ball bounced around, and now away will go Rob Kloepfer. Kloepfer will wait for some offensive options as he may get forced to move it here. Kloepfer will now race into the corner. 4-on-4 is now expired. Power play for the Merchants, but they will most likely not get a chance on the rest of that end of the 4. So Owen Sound comes up 2 goals better on that 4-minute minor, technically, to Maudsley, as that shot is put, I believe, wide and out of play, and it will be wide and out of play. And now Jordan McMillan will play a little bit of chase there, as this play back now to Liam Osborne. Osborne. Looking for the pass back to Devin Pfeiffer. It missed, but Pfeiffer is able to retrieve it off the boards. Pfeiffer in! Great save by Clark as Pfeiffer got put down. And are they going to call an illegal cross-check to Kiddo? They are going to call an illegal cross-check to Colin Kiddo.
You know what? I mean, that's unfortunate. I thought it was probably pretty good defensive play. You know, Doolittle did get beat underneath by Pfeiffer, this former Whippy Warrior teammate. But he's dancing around. There's nothing illegal about that at all. Hand
and
on the back.
You even could argue, Steve, if... Oh, no, it was Barfoot who got the minor. I was going to say, I thought Barfoot's actually the one who hit him, but Colin Kiddo was also right there.
Nonetheless,
both played contact.
It was the referee that was 100 feet away that called it over two that were 20 feet away. So, again, anyways, we'll see how they prevail here. Great job killing the last one.
And Renault, and there was a tangle up there, so Renault never got to fire as Kelly got tangled up with, it looked like, Liam Osborne. As Gavin Clark's now just going to walk it. And Gavin Clark's just going to walk it, but he's got to get rid of it here in a minute, and he fires it away. And it goes into the, and it gets the low netting. That's also a problem with playing in these smaller rinks, Steve, is the netting is lower. The boards are physically lower.
But again, that was just a brain cramp on Owen Sound's defense. Nobody went to be the outlet. So you got to help your goalie out, let him make that first pass a short one when you're the man down and come out in a controlled manner. So
Elliott will fire it. That one will go wide, and it skips right through Devin Pfeiffer, and it will be an over and back. A big advantage for Owen Sound is the over and back. As they'll now get a fresh possession deep in the Merchants' end, as all the offensive guys will make their way onto the floor here, as it starts with Keegan McElmoyle. McElmoyle right across for that looks to be Dawson McKenzie. McKenzie will fend his way off. McKenzie got 15 left to work here. Back for Colin McElmoyle. McElmoyle, what a pass! Great save there by Knott, though, on the McKenzie shot. But away's going to come the Merchants. And they end up not being able to get away with the transition. As it's now played off for Devin Pfeiffer and the offensive squad. Him and Renault put a little past the parcel. Down, or I thought for Parker. Back down for Ed Renault. Devin Pfeiffer fires there for Osborne. Great save there by Clark. About 30 seconds left here on the power play for the Merchants. They're 1 for 2 so far. Actually, I guess technically 1 for 3. Played over now. Pfeiffer, that one deflected, never got on target. Osborne shot, that one saved by Clark. And where is it? It's with Gavin Clark. Gavin Clark now for Andrew Kelly. Kelly plays it forward, misses the intended target of Jake Doolittle. One more chance here for the Merchants. But the power play is going to expire, so it will go back to 5-on-5. They go 1 for 4 so far on the day on the power play. As Parker Pfeiffer over for Ed Renault. Renault will fire. That one will be whistled wide. That one bounced and stopped, but not caught by Malloy. Now they will go Wyatt Barfoot. Barfoot in! Great save there by Declan Knott. That ball bounces out of play, and it should be Owen Sound's possession, and it is. With 7:02 left here in the first. Barfoot retrieves it, and Barfoot will go around. For Rob Harris. McNabb. Jake McNabb fires. Good save there by Declan Knott. Ball almost squirts out, however, and not able to retrieve. Straight to the bench it goes as that ball is bounced and I thought deflected, but no, does make its way to Peyton Wallace. Wallace for Darren Elliott. Elliott takes the double screen up top now for Malloy. Malloy will make a run for it. Can't get away. Whistle's going to go, and they're going to call it against Malloy and the Merchants. Couple of those so far, Steve, where they've been losing offensive possessions. Dale plays it off. McElmoyle over for McMillan. McMillan went to fire, plays it down, and misses Fitzpatrick entirely. That ball now popped up and away by the Merchants, and here they come. Quickly up the floor come the Merchants. Peroni plays it back, and now it is for Parker Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer fires it. That one whistled wide. Where'd it go? I thought it went off of Clark and almost in the net. It ends up staying behind the net. Is racing up the floor. Now will go Braden Kruger. Kruger rolls it towards, and it will get to Jake Doolittle. Doolittle will take a bump for the trouble and plays it off now for Maudsley. Colin Maudsley gets attacked there. Maud's going to have to move it. Does end up spinning off his defender. Maudsley gets forced down. Passes it towards Cascanet. Cascanet. Over for Harris. Rob Harris. Fires that one. Scores! Rob Harris from distance makes it 4-2.
Again, these are kind of off a broken play, but Rob Harris stepped around again, a screen up top, and shot around the defender. So again, screening Deacon Knott just slightly there on the play, but it was a rocket top cheese. So we'll see there that.
And you also kind of see his own defender there in Falbert kind of come across his vision, which also may have played a factor.
It may have, but yeah, these are. Hey, Owen Sound will take him any way they can get him, and it was a good read to let it go from there. But again, they're going to want to keep their possessions hot, keep their feet moving, and want to get inside.
They had a good first period yesterday against the Ennismore James Gang. I will now say the score. It was 9-1 after 1 against the James Gang yesterday. So they had a hot start in this arena. So it looks like they're continuing that here today. Weren't able to sustain that success, pardon me. Easy for me to say. So we'll see if they can sustain it today. Osborne looking to fire. Tries to scoot around Barfoot, plays it. It misses his intended target, but Pfeiffer gets there, and got forced down. There was Malloy. Well, he gets forced down again. They're going to call Stevenson that time, as down again goes another Merchant. That might be two different minors. I'm not 100% sure. They're going to have to fire. They never do. And Stevenson and Malloy are still jawing. And Stevenson might be getting an extra minor.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, you just can't take these undisciplined penalties. He got away with a couple there.
That one wasn't the call either.
Nope.
It's this one right here where he forced them down. That's the minor.
Yeah.
And then there's another one right there, I believe. So that might be two separate minors. We're going to find out. At the mercy of the scores at the waiting for the scoreboard update.
It's stuck on 2 for now, so I think they're.
They might have got away with one there, Steve. You could say.
Yeah. Again, so I'm not sure what the burr underneath Carson Stevenson's saddle is today. I mean, he certainly is a big, strong guy. Who any criticism of him has been he doesn't utilize his size and strength, and the last couple of days he's turned a new leaf. He's certainly been on the aggressive side, so you just want to contain that.
Maybe control it, if you will. As Renault got forced down there by, I want to say, Barfoot or Clofer on that side. And it was Barfoot, as they're now still jawing. And whistle will go. And there's still some barking here. And there's a tangle up between that shot by Osborne. I'm trying to get all the action out here as everyone's getting tangled up. Forcing the boards there. And yep. They finally call that one, and there's still some barking there between that looks to be Owen Dogue and Parker Pfeiffer. And there's no call, which does somewhat surprise me, because they've been tangled up for the last minute and a half or so. As Parker Pfeiffer for Devin Pfeiffer. Devin Pfeiffer fires it. That ball saved by Clark. Picked up by Parker Pfeiffer. Back for Devin Pfeiffer. That wrestle down for Osborne. Osborne around the net he goes in Gretzky's office. Straight up, back up for Devin Pfeiffer. Red Renault, back for Devin Pfeiffer. Parker Pfeiffer, down for Osborne, and stepped in, so it doesn't count, and I think it did beat Clark, but not the referee.
Yeah, he was able to come down. For hiding behind the net, they drew the defenders out, having to respect that shot and a good ball movement, and Liam Osborne just stepped through the crease as he went top cheese the other side.
We'll see if Owen Sound can kill 30 seconds off this power play. Rob Harris is going to try to race around. Harris, Scott McMillan, plays it for McMillan. McMillan just trying to hold it here for the 30 seconds. But Owen will get forced into the boards, and he might get held here. Oh, he does bounce off. McMillan gets around. McMillan fires, and he falls, and it's a great save, but a minor is coming against it. Harris, I think, went to go defend his short of stature, Jordan McMillan, so that will be a minor going against the Merchants. And you almost could say, Steve, that the over-aggressive North Stars are kind of bringing the Merchants into their game.
Yeah, and again, I'm not certain that this was anything wrong with this check, but we will get to see here. Yeah, I guess it was on the numbers. Yep. And
also be an illegal cross-check going against Robert Morgan, their face-off taker. So 4-on-4 for 49 seconds here, and then a power play will go Owen Sound's way. They scored 2 goals last time we went 4-on-4. McNabb fires. That's a great save there by Knott. Very athletic guy is Deacon Nod, I saw that during the warm-ups. Likes to move. Maloney plays it back for Renault. Renault for Parker Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer looking down at Barfoot. Back now for McNutt. McNutt trying to spin away. He's got a hold of one of the North Stars. Kelly now comes out towards him, played behind the net. That's Parker Pfeiffer back for McNutt. McNutt will fire, deflected, never got there, and not sure who lost their stick. Actually, it was Andrew Kelly, got his stick flung about 30 feet from him. Kruger will now cruise, and Kruger will turn on the Jets. And the power 4-on-4 is about to expire, and there it does. So 5-on-4 for Owen Sound now, here with 2:40 left in the first frame. Maudsley, back for him. McKenzie. McNabb fires, and that one off the shoulder. Maudsley will be the first one there. That'll be a reset for Owen Sound. McKenzie, wicked move there. Shot, Maudsley scores! Maudsley beat him glove side, 5-2 Owen Sound. That one's on the power play.
Yeah, that was a real nice shot. Short side under the glove. Not sure he had the angle from where he released, but he did. And Colin Maudsley, who at one time was a pretty gifted scorer in this league, making a comeback after being away for 3 or 4 years at least. And he finally got back on the board after a number of looks yesterday.
So in the first period of the last 2 games, Steve, they've scored 14 goals.
Yeah.
Very impressive. Very impressive in the first frame, especially after playing a full game yesterday. Ooh, down when a Merchant. Fitzpatrick got a hold of him. That's got to be 8 seconds, you think, because that ball's fired out of play. That ball goes about 8 rows up. And barking at the referee there was Peyton Wallace, who took the ride down.
Yeah, Peyton Wallace, a whippy kid that has played out west in the WLA Senior A the last couple of years and back home and playing with the Merchants.
McKenzie trying to get around his defender. Ruddy played up now for Cascanet. Cascanet looking for an angle, never going to get one. He finally does. That shot deflected and will, I thought, go out of play. It actually stays in play as it was retrieved there by Maloney. Maloney played forward there to Parker Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer will take his whacks for his trouble. Played over, and that's the save there as Pfeiffer goes down. And now Jake Doolittle will go. Doolittle running down on Devin Pfeiffer. Doolittle fires it absolutely nobody, and that ball will go over and back.
And that'll cost him.
Ooh, and they're going to call Doolittle on the whack. And now a tangle up behind the play here between Maudsley and Parker Pfeiffer. So Doolittle, I think, is going to the box there as McMillan's talking to the referee.
Again, that's just a careless giveaway by a guy that doesn't make too many mistakes out there. Jake Doolittle on the errant pass, and then when the Merchants knocked it around just prior to getting the whistle blown back in, Jake whacked the stick, and you can't engage before the whistle goes.
1 for, I believe, 4 are the Brooklyn Merchants, maybe 1 for 5. But I know it's 1 for 4 or 5. As Renault for Parker Pfeiffer. For Devin Pfeiffer, that one's saved by Clark. That one's going to bounce, though, and it will go all the way down. But because it touched the goalie, it won't be an over and back.
But it didn't touch the goalie. Now they're calling a reset. Interesting.
Devin Pfeiffer, Parker Pfeiffer, down for Osborne. Back for Devin Pfeiffer, Ed Renault. Back for Osborne, Parker Pfeiffer. Osborne can't catch it. He's going to get forced on the boards there by Rob Klopfer. Devin Pfeiffer, Parker Pfeiffer, fires. Great save there by Clark, and Klopfer got a hold of it. And Klopfer's going to go. He's got 3 around him. He's going to hold up. He's got 8 to get it over. And now he'll go. He bounces through the check. He's bouncing into the boards. Osborne takes him there, and he's just battling through Osborne. And Klopfer, I think, is talking to him while he does it. And Klopfer gets forced down. Surprised there was no whistle. It got rolled to Cascanet. Now over there for Jake McNabb. McNabb's going to try to chew the rest of this period off as the Miner will go now into the second period if they're able to do that. McNabb will just fire it down. Cascanet will go to force it, but that will just about do it here for us as they're going to try to get one more shot away. Devin Pfeiffer will, and it was saved as he got trucked there by Barfoot for the trouble. 5-2 after one here in Meaford. Another great start for the North Stars. We'll just have to see if they can keep it. I'll say unlike they did yesterday against Ennismore, but after being up 9-1, you didn't need to keep that kind of scoring level. Tonight against Brooklyn, you'd have to say, Steve, they're probably going to have to.
Yeah, again, Brooklyn is far more offensively gifted with the personnel they put on the floor versus what Ennismore had yesterday in the lineup. So you can't turn the ball over. You can't have short runs when you're up on the offense. You want to utilize that 30 seconds, and you can't take needless penalties.
Well, we'll see what we're in store for as the second period is on the way. But first, a chance for myself, Spencer Byers, to talk to Brooklyn Merchants leading point getter last year, Ed Renault. So stay tuned for that here on Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm David Shearman, host of Politically Speaking on Rogers TV. Join me this fall for more interviews with our local, provincial, and federal politicians. Politically Speaking on Rogers TV.
This is a man's heart, a heart in desperate need of medical attention. But because 78% of Indigenous people experience racism in healthcare, he may not get the help he needs. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
For me, the end was just the beginning. I felt I must come. If I did not come at once, it would be too late. And these places that are watered with the best blood of Canada might only be names and memories. I see it in the soldiers, the grief I know so intimately. And I will not abandon these men to it. The isolation wears on me. Slowly, the silence takes over, as if my heart has given out of air. I cannot talk. I can only paint.
For more than 2 years, Mary Ryder Hamilton painted the battlefields of the First World War, creating an unforgettable visual record of service and sacrifices at immense personal cost.
Hi, I'm Lynn from Third Eye View, and welcome to a brand new season that we're looking forward to. We have some return guests and some brand new guests. And in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your summer, stay safe.
And welcome back here to the Meaford and St. Vincent Community Center. First intermission here beside me, Ed Renault of the Brooklyn Merchants. Ed, you had a big season last year, 86, not only helping your team, also helping the league in scoring. So what's it like returning to a league knowing that you led it last year?
Honestly, it's always just an honor just to be out here. There's so many talented players. Like, I'm more of a role player. I just identify to whatever the team needs me to be, and that's what I want to do.
Well, with your Brooklyn team last year, you guys were right in with Six Nations playing for a championship. You're hosting the President's Cup this year. What do you feel like is important for you guys this year to be able to kind of aspire to that goal at the President's Cup?
Well, we got to remember how the season ended last year. One short against Six Nations, of course, but now that we got a little bit of a chip on our shoulders, we got to continue to play as a team, continue to run, continue to play our game, and the season will come to us.
Now, this is your first game of the season against the Owen Sound North Stars. They've already played two this year. This is their second of the weekend. So what do you feel like is the key tonight here against Owen Sound?
It is our first game. I know they've had a couple under their belt. We've been having a few training camps, even our own internal scrimmage. I feel like preparation is going to really help us in today's game.
Well, I'd say it here for us. Thank you so much, Ed Renault of the Brooklyn Merchants. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Spencer. Appreciate your time.
All right, and we'll be right back with the rest of our first intermission after this on Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm Carol Merton, host of We All Belong, Our Neighbors, Our Community, a new Rogers TV series promoting the diversity of our community in Grey County. Please join me on Rogers TV. Hi, I'm Carol Merton, host of HealthLink on Rogers TV. HealthLink connects home, community, and healthcare with interesting topics and speakers about your health and your community.
Are you a passionate content creator ready to expand your audience reach? Do you have unique stories, captivating hobbies, or special interests that deserve a spotlight? Rogers TV is here to amplify your voice within the community. We offer you the platform to broadcast your content to a wider audience. And the best part, it's completely free. Don't miss this opportunity to share your vision and engage with viewers. Find out how Rogers TV can transform your content journey today.
With clubs, leagues, and courts in every province and territory across Canada, squash is the sport for wall-to-wall fun, fitness, and friendship. From coast to coast to coast. Learn to play and you'll want to do it every day. Squash. Play inside the box.
After a night out with your friends, there's always options for getting home safely. You could call your BFF, your mom or dad, whoever you can count on for a safe ride home. You could call your favorite cab company or 1-888 taxi guy. Or you could use the Arrive Alive smartphone app to help you choose your ride. Be it a friend, transit, or taxi, getting home safely is app easy. Now available for iOS and Android devices. Visit arrivealive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
Welcome back here to the Meaford and St. Vincent Community Center. Spencer Byers alongside me, Steve McCarthy. And Steve, 5-2 after one in favor of Owen Sound. And something they've kind of continued the last 2 days is some stellar defense. We didn't talk about it a lot there during the period, but I think it continues again. And yeah, maybe some offensive miscues there by the Merchants, but you still have to give some credit there to Owen Sound's defense and, of course, their goalie, Gavin Clark.
Yeah, I mean, Gavin's come up with some big saves when they have broken down. Again, they're being pretty aggressive. They'll have to watch how they defend those two-man games because Brooklyn has some experienced guys out there that can really move the ball and are pretty handy in tight areas. So they gave up a few opportunities like that already, but Gavin was there to shut the door.
Well, they also have 34 seconds left in the power play here for the Merchants. So, again, the Miners are maybe a little plentiful right now for Owen Sound. It hasn't bit them yet, but you have to expect with how talented this Merchant team is, Steve, they got to be really good.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to take needless frustration penalties or retaliation penalties. You know, if it's something that results in stopping a scoring opportunity, the coaching staff will certainly go along with that, but they've been guilty of a few ones that they'd probably like to have back.
All right, we'll go right back with the second period here on Rogers TV as you watch OSL Lacrosse.
Hi, I'm David Shearman, host of Politically Speaking on Rogers TV. Join me this fall for more interviews with our local, provincial, and federal politicians. Politically Speaking on Rogers TV.
Are you a passionate content creator ready to expand your audience reach? Do you have unique stories, captivating hobbies, or special interests that deserve a spotlight? Rogers TV is here to amplify your voice within the community. We offer you the platform to broadcast your content to a wider audience. And the best part, it's completely free. Don't miss this opportunity to share your vision and engage with viewers. Find out how Rogers TV can transform your content journey today.
As I looked upon the battlefield in front of me, a German star shell lit up the desolate landscape. I watched as a bullet smashed through the bridge of my nose and left me to the mercy of the darkness. I worried I would be dependent on others for the rest of my life. But Sir Arthur Pearson and the staff of St. Dunstan's had other plans. With their help, I knew I could be self-reliant, and I wanted to bring this idea home to Canada. I wanted Canadians to know that we could hold jobs, that we could contribute, that regardless of sight, all would read, that we, the blind, would shape our own lives, our own destiny.
Blinded by a sniper's bullet in 1915, Edwin A. Baker went on to co-found the Canadian National Institute for the Blind, shaping a path forward for the blind across Canada for generations to come.
Hi, I'm Lynn from Third Eye View, and welcome to a brand new season that we're looking forward to. We have some return guests and some brand new guests. And in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your summer, stay safe.
Welcome back here to the Meaford and St. Vincent Community Center. 5-2 after 1 in favor of the Owen Sound North Stars. The Brooklyn Merchants are on the power play for the next 34 seconds to begin period number 2. Spencer Byers alongside me, Steve McCarthy. And Steve, very good start by Owen Sound, just as they had yesterday, but hopefully tonight, especially in this second period, we'll see if they can sustain the success they had. They were not able to yesterday, but it did not bite them against Ennismore. You'd have to assume with how good this Brooklyn team was last year and how many guys they have returning this year that will not be the same case.
Yeah, I think they'll look at the first game they had this year when they came out against a really strong opponent in Six Nations, and it was kind of the same scenario. They had an early lead, 7-3 late in the second period, and they ended up losing that one 11, 12, 9 or something like that. So
11,
yeah,
9.
The Merchants are going to keep coming at you, and they have the guns to do it. You just don't want to give them those additional opportunities.
Osborne. Off for Devin Pfeiffer. Down for Quinn Highland. Up back now for Devin Pfeiffer. Devin back now for Edward. No, he got deflected and taken now by Aiden Doe. He has Maudsley in front. He'll wait. That's actually Owen Dale in front. Now for McMillan. It goes right through him, and it is retrieved there by a guy who was trying to get off in Owen Dale. He'll now play it off for Maudsley. Maudsley's got 10 more seconds to kill here on the minor. That shot, great save there by Nod. It deflects into the corner and is retrieved by Owen Sound. So a fresh shot clock here to kill. So that is the end of the minor there for Owen Sound. A good job there to kill off the rest of that minor. Here to begin the second period. Maudsley fires that one, saved by Nod. Couldn't get the rebound though, and it'll be a over and back against Owen Sound. As quickly racing for that one there was one of the Pfeiffers.
That was
Zach Pfeiffer.
And just a little note here, this is the three Pfeiffer brothers' first game ever together.
And there's Parker Pfeiffer getting on the score sheet. His second goal here tonight will begin period number 2, just over a minute in.
Again, that's a tough one to give up on. Again, on an over and back call, they just weren't really set to play defense here. And you let a guy dangerous like Pfeiffer just walk in with nobody on him. We need a little better communication there on the D side. As you saw Dawson McKenzie vacate the area that Pfeiffer came roaring through to go to the other side. Looked like he was trying to direct some traffic, but
somehow kept there by Rob Klofer. There will be a finally minor called here as Klofer is still trying to fight for it. He's just trying to bat it away. He'll now lose it. And there will be the whistle blown. I was going to say, I hope there was a minor called as I saw Gavin Clark make his mad dash to the bench.
Yeah, looks like a holding call.
And he does have the longer run. We'll mention it. We didn't talk about it yesterday. The short bench is now here in the second period, so the offensive players on the power play especially can really hem the penalty killers in. The penalty killers are very, very far away from their bench right now on both sides.
Yeah.
It'll
be interesting who utilizes transition offense and defense better today. So.
Starting with it here is Dawson McKenzie. Cascanet, McMillan, back for Cascanet. McKenzie, McNabb, back for McKenzie. Cascanet, McKenzie, McNabb, fires that one, saved by Knott. Bounces and picked up there by McKenzie. That shot again there by McNabb, but it beats Knott. Deacon Knott.
A goal scorer's goal. Not quite sure how that got through Deacon Knott. It seemed like it hit him in the belly, but somehow the backspin got through, and Jake has scored another one here.
That's his 12th of the season from my count, and yeah, just like they beat him through the arm there.
Got through the arm, yeah. So almost not far off dead center chest, and it ends up in the back of the net. So
sometimes, no matter where you place it, Stevie, you throw it hard enough at the net. Yeah. Alex Ovechkin's kind of had a lot of success doing that.
Yeah, well, good, big answer there by Owen Sound.
Big collision there at the red line between a couple different North Stars and Merchants. The Merchants do come away with it, however, and scores!
And again, they're just allowed.
Darren Elliott scores. I'm not sure how or where, but that one beats.
Too much time and space coming off the bench there, and the Owen Sound defenders are just standing there. No aggressiveness towards the ball carrier, and you know, a long shot, but you got to get out, make them shoot through the body.
Very quick reply there by the Brooklyn Merchants. As it's back to a 2-goal lead. As that ball is dropped, there was a North Star, and they're going to call it. And the Brooklyn can't believe it. Was it interference? As Stevenson went to go pick up for him. As Colin Kiddo got drilled, and away for 2 or less will go Robert Morgan, the face-off taker. As I assume it has to be interference, Steve, because I'm not sure if Kiddo ever did have possession.
Yeah, again, we'll likely see that. I mean, it was almost a perfectly timed hit, but anytime a player goes down in a lump like that, more often than not, they're going to call to say they're trying to protect the player.
And the Brooklyn coach wants to talk to the referee here. And he wants an explanation. And again, it was a very solid hit. It wasn't a dirty hit, but again, he didn't have possession of the ball.
I'm sure if either team had been the giver instead of the receiver, they'd be questioning the call, but nonetheless, it's not a surprise.
And the possession will now start with Owen Sound here back on the power play. They scored just most recently here on the power play. McKenzie back for Cascanet. McKenzie for McNabb. McNabb will fire it, and Declan caught that one. Declan going to fire, and he does fire, and he's got a runner. It's Liam Osborne. Osborne in! Good save there as a diving Barfoot. Didn't get a stick on it, I don't think, as Klopfer's going to let it roll over the red line. Wait for as much time as he could to give them the fresh 30.
Again, Deacon Knott illustrated how good a ball handler he is there, and that was the rope he fired up to Liam Osborne, who caught Owen Sound sleeping there and not having a transition guy to cover up top.
Cascanet will fire. That's a good save there by Knott. That ball will bounce away, however, and not be picked up by either team as of yet. And, ooh, a miss hit there as Cascanet lost it. And there's going to be a whistle here as Osborne's going to slowly get up and go off. And, again, I think he just went to go throw a hit on Cascanet, and Cascanet pulled out the chair.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right.
And, ooh, got met there, and they're going to call that an illegal screen.
That's going to be a penalty.
And they're going to call it. It's Kiddo again. Kiddo got drilled the second time, and he's unhappy. Now he's barking there at the two guys in the box.
Yeah.
And away, I think that's Adam Peroni.
Yeah.
Who got a hold of Kiddo right here. You'll see it. And again, that might even be head contact. And I don't blame Colin Kiddo for being a little upset, because that's the second one he took.
And again, he had no ball possession. That was certainly
he was a blindside hit too, Steve. So again, you could call it a blindside hit. I'm not sure if that's a rule in lacrosse like it is in football. So now it's a 5-on-3 for Owen Sound as Barfoot will stay up. And it is another interference going against the Merchants here. McMillan, Cascanet, McNabb. Over now for McKenzie. McKenzie, fake that shot. Saved there by Knott. He wasn't sure where it was. He'll bounce it through the middle, and it just goes through the stick of Osborne. Quickly up the floor. McKenzie, great save there, and gonna have to be quickly retrieved here by McNabb. McNabb does, and a chance here for Owen Sound to recollect. Almost a great opportunity. There's McNabb right into the chest protector there of the netminder. Knott will bounce it, again picked up by Osborne. Osborne met, however, by Barfoot, and he lost it, but no one saw where it was. Whistle's gonna go, and it'll go back to Owen Sound. I'm not exactly sure how.
Not sure if that was an 8-second call or not. Wasn't focused there on the shot clock. So.
As Owen Sound finally gets their 5th guy out here. Barfoot, McMillan, that shot off Knott and saved, so it'll stay Owen Sound's way. First penalty expires. McMillan shot. That's another good save by Knott.
Again, but that's early in the shot clock. If you're going to come in, you got to come right out in front of the net and draw a defender. I mean, there's literally no hope of beating Deacon from there.
In will come Morgan, as he'll now go off, as they'll try to kill the rest of this. 15 seconds left from the shot clock are the Merchants. Ed Renault, right across for Devin Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer looks to fire, never ends up getting in a shooting lane, lost possession of it, and will now lose the shot clock as Kloepfer will pick it up as the shot clock expires.
Yeah, exceptional defense there with Braden Cougar. He really did a good job of staying in front, not going for the fakes, and cut Pfeiffer off if he tried to go around.
McMillan, Cascanet, 5-on-4 now for Owensound from their 15 seconds. McMillan, back forward, Jordan McMillan, that fire low, saved by Knott. It'll be a reception there by Maudsley, but the penalty's going to expire here. Good job there by Clark to let his boys know. Cascanet, back for McNabb. McNabb will fire. Another good save by Knott. McMillan back for Cascanet. Cascanet wide open! Scored! Dawson McKenzie wide open on the back door.
Yeah, the penalty had expired there, but a great job retrieving those loose balls off shots and getting those secondary opportunities. And again, a great feed by Cascanet to find Dawson McKenzie wide open. And he didn't quite give it the quick stick, but nonetheless, he made no mistake.
And poor Deacon Knott had no chance at that one. As McKenzie will finally get his name on the score sheet, who was very good yesterday for the Owensound North Stars, and a false start there against Morgan will give Owensound the free possession here. And Barfoot, take a couple whacks for his trouble. He'll play it back. He'll play it forward. Fitzpatrick makes a nice move. Fitzpatrick stepped in before he fired, so possession will go to Liam Osborne, who's got wheels. Osborne, shot off the post. And picked up now by Dale. Dale's gonna fire, I think. No, he'll think better of it and play it off now for Jake Doolittle. Osborne just raced away from everybody.
They had a 3-on-0.
Ooh, and too many men.
Again, just a sloppy change there. They're going to pay the price here.
I think that was the call.
Yep, that's it. You just don't want to get caught with too many men on the offense.
So who's going? Is it the ball carrier?
No, they'll be able to assign a player because it's forwarded to the bench. So
who's going to go? Or is nobody going to go? I guess nobody's going to go. So starting with Devin Pfeiffer back on the power play come the Merchants. Something they haven't been great at here tonight, but it is their first game of the regular season. So
looks like Rob Harris is back with the white bucket, and
he's back and he goes in the box. So maybe a wardrobe malfunction more than a switch. That shot quickly, I believe, was touched by Clark. No, it was not. Renault just missed. As Barfoot picks it up, Kloepfer's the first one there, and Kloepfer will go over. He'll wait, though, at the red line, smartly, you'd say, as he makes his move. Kloepfer takes a bump near the bench, and he'll now race into the corner. Being forced down there by Falbert. Kloepfer got 15 left here to kill him the shot clock. Played over now for Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick bounces it back now for McKenzie. McKenzie will fire it. Knox will save it. And Knox will go for the long ball again. And it was deflected, I thought. That was Zach Pfeiffer going for it. Now his brother Parker will join him as Barfoot picks it up, and he'll go through both and lose it, but picked up there by Owensound as Andrew Kelly went through some contact. Played over now for Jake Doolittle, who has to watch that red line. He does walk the line and plays over now for, that looks to be Maudsley. Colin Maudsley has 15 left to kill here.
Real good job so far by Owensound again, but you don't
surprised by that shot by Maudsley, but away's going to come the Merchants again. Played forward quickly, and here comes Morgan. Morgan shot right into the wickets there and saved by the netminder Gavin Clark.
Again, Maudsley doesn't need to take that shot from that situation to create the transition opportunity, and Morgan just probably didn't need to do that either. They had some time left to set up the power play with 33 and they let her slide.
And Jordan Cascanet now will hold it. Play down for Keegan McElmoyle. And they're going to whistle that, and away is going to go Maudsley.
And again, that's just a needless check to the back. He's lucky he didn't get 2 minutes for that. And again, the coaching staff can't be very happy with some of these unforced turnovers resulting because of bad decisions.
Renault will fire it, and that goes right into, I think, the cup or leg there as Stevenson, and he'll limp off.
Yeah.
As now the end of the minor will come. Back to 5-on-5. As taking a couple whacks for the trouble there is Braden Kruger. Kruger passes up to McMillan. McMillan fires. That one goes wide. Almost a miscue there with the Merchants as they doubled Kruger. Trying to fight for it. There's McMillan. McMillan does pick it up. What a spin. Jordan McMillan. McMillan takes the bump. Takes another one. I'm surprised there's no Owen Sound player coming out of the box here as McMillan will take a couple extra whacks. And Zach Pfeiffer throws him down. Is Pfeiffer going to get the extra minor here?
Yeah.
And again, that was probably the two slowest guys on the floor, Steve.
That's a bad call that they're giving. Unless this is a 4 minute to 2 minutes, I can't believe that Jordan McMillan's getting a penalty here as well. So interesting to see how they sort this out.
Again, the two smallest guys on the floor technically are getting minors here, which again is interesting in and of itself. But again, as you mentioned, we'll see how the minors do shake out as Zach Pfeiffer and Jordan McMillan will sit.
This should be Brooklyn's ball. I mean, this should be Owen Sound's ball. Brooklyn clearly took the last penalty on this.
Not just that, but I'm not sure how Parker Pfeiffer would get 4, however.
Well, I can't believe that there wasn't a 2-and-2 going initially. Oh. Well,
and that is rather interesting. Both teams will get 2, so Owen Sound got the second one. So McMillan will sit for 2, as well as Zach Pfeiffer will sit for 2, and it'll be the Merchants' possession as Rob Kolfer tries to get an explanation. So obviously McMillan must have got the minor after the check from Pfeiffer.
Not certain there. Again, I only complain about the rules. I don't know them all. Admittedly so.
Well, they do like to change a lot, in fairness.
Well, again, sometimes, yes. We deal in common sense and not actual rules. But typically you would expect the last penalty to force possession the other way.
Trying to get around there was Devin Pfeiffer up for Red Renault now. Renault will fire. That's a good save there by Gavin Clark. Goes into the boards as Renault will force Owen. They're going to bring possession back to Owen Sound. As into the boards, hard there went Wyatt Barfoot, who I did speak to, and you'll see that interview with Barfoot in between the second and third as Klopfer quickly up the floor. Back for McNabb. McNabb will shoot it. It's deflected. No one saw where it went. McNabb will pick it back up. Lucky there for Owen Sound, you'd say, as no one knew where that one was. As McKenzie scooting around. Back for McNabb. McNabb missed it, and that one should go over. It may actually not, though, as Maudsley picks it up. Gonna have to fire, though, from a mile away, and it will go wide. And quickly retrieved, though, by the Merchants.
And again, those last-minute desperation shots, you're better off rolling it in the corner, allowing your team to get a little bit of a change or set up defensively rather than taking a Hail Mary when you're up 7-4.
Malloy, ooh, and a tumble there in front of the net. Pass misses the intended target. That ball will get whacked away, and Andrew Kelly will now go, but the whistle will go for the injury as actually, not sure who that is down. It actually is Quinn Highland who went down. And I don't think there was a penalty called. No, there was a penalty called. Color me shocked.
Again, the referee that was the furthest away from the play made the call.
And Barfoot's the one taking it. So obviously the first check after Kelly fell over the player. And they call it interference on Wyatt Barfoot. So now we're going to go 4-on-3 for 48 seconds. And then we're going to go 5-on-4 in favor of the Merchants, who will get another kick at the can on the power play, as both goalies will now take a little water break between Knott and Clark. So a lot of space to work here for this potent Merchants offense that hasn't had a chance to get going yet, Steve.
Yeah, and again, when you give them this kind of time and space, a 4-on-3 really plays into their strength. So it would be an exceptional feat if they were able to keep this ball out of the net, and I would expect them to look to get it down low, go crease to crease real early.
Renault. Back for Renault. That shot saved. That was McNutt, as they're going to call an in-and-out rule, and they're going to give it back to the Merchants, I believe.
Again, I don't know that, how that was deemed back in, but.
Devin for Parker, right across from McNutt, over for Renault. Renault will fire, good save there by Clark, and it's going to scoot out of play. So back again there for Devin Pfeiffer. 4-on-4 will expire as this possession continues. Parker, Pfeiffer, Ed Renault, back for McNutt. McNutt led to fire, does fake that shot. Great save by Clark. And whoa, a baseball swing almost, and he'll now force his man into the boards, and away is going to go Doolittle.
It's an interesting call. McNutt's going to get a penalty for a phantom slash. I thought he might have got one for the initial hit from behind on the boards, but.
I also thought that.
Yeah.
So now it's 4-on-4 here to make that 5-on-4. Actually 5-on-5, I should say, as the 4-on-4 does expire. Just trying to chew up the rest of the minor here as they use the last 5 seconds here. McNabb fires it, it goes wide, and a slash will be the call there against McNutt. And again, he did take about a baseball swing, it looked like to me, before the hit into the boards, and then the phantom slash he ends up getting called for. So if you want to call it a makeup call, I guess you could call it that. But
yeah, well, Colton McNutt, the son of longtime Brooklyn Merchant Duke McNutt. Duke probably, he may still be the leading scorer all time with the Merchants, not sure. I had the pleasure of being his teammate in the early 2000s, and feisty player in his own right, and Colton, again, was a big scorer in the Junior C Shamrocks.
McMillan shot it, and they're going to call something here against Maudsley, as possession will stay now with Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Or go to Brooklyn.
And again, Brooklyn has got the transition set up. They just couldn't move it up. They had an opening there to go 2-on-1 with Owen Sound being a little slow getting off the floor.
Play back for Renault. Renault over for Osborne. Osborne makes his run. Osborne in! And somehow does it. Beat Gavin Clark.
Wow, again, great effort by Liam Osborne. He was absolutely robbed. Almost looked like a glove hand save.
Contortionist Gavin Clark. That's just on the side.
Yeah, for a big man, he does get his lateral movement in check, and he did a great job there coming across with Liam, who had exceptional speed on that play.
Over now for McKenzie. McKenzie fires for Cascanet. Cascanet will put it on, and that's a good save there by Knott. As the penalty will now expire. It's now 5-on-4 in favor of Owen Sound, as rushing up the floor comes Brooklyn. That shot saved there by the netminder. Good couple of whacks there by Owen Sound, but the Merchants keep possession. So they get a chance to basically run the rest of this clock down, you'd say, for the power play for Owen Sound.
Yeah, Owen Sound should get about 18 to 20 seconds on the PP once this is over, unless they
don't get possession.
Retrieve the, they'll likely have a shot late in the shot clock here.
That pass is deflected and is now retrieved, but immediately lost by Andrew Kelly. Bounces though towards Wyatt Barfoot, who gets ran into the boards, and now away will come Braden Kruger and the North Stars. They will have maybe one shot here. McNabb for McKenzie. Cascanet. McKenzie. McNabb. Back from Cascanet. That shot saved there by Knott. And wait, a whistle's going to go here. And they're going to do, I believe, a check there on the netminder.
And again, that would be a call that you certainly against the other club would want to know why they're giving a timeout for a goaltender,
wardrobe malfunction,
water break or what have you, in the middle of a transition play. But nonetheless, it was early on, and I'm sure they owe one to the Merchants there.
As you see there, the upcoming games for the North Stars. They play Collingwood here in Meaford, but Collingwood will be the listed home team in that matchup, and then another home game against the Hamilton Bengals down in Durham as a home game, and then they start their first real road trip of the season going at Collingwood and then at Six Nations in a rematch of the opening night game down in Durham, which ended 11-9. But by June 7th, you have to say, Steve, that Six Nations will most likely be back at full strength, and that is you'd say not maybe a good thing for Owen Sound.
Yeah, you would think that they'll continue to add to that roster. A lot of impressive talent down Six Nations way, and they've also, always do a great job recruiting players from outside of the community. And again, they'll be a foe to deal with all season long.
That they will be. Ed Renault will play it over for Liam Osborne. Now for Devin Pfeiffer. Devin Pfeiffer over now. McNutt. McNutt looking for an angle. Gives it off now to Renault. It ends up bouncing through Renault and trying to get retrieved, and is retrieved there by Gavin Clark. Right up by Doak. Played now for McNabb. McNabb trying to swim away. He'll shoot. That's a good save there by Knott. Ball bounces right in front, and forced in there will go Owen Sound. They're going to call the minor. I believe there's still a Merchant player down who got thrown through the collision of, I believe that was Rob Harris who got thrown down. Away will go Adam Peroni again, and it will be an interference call.
More often than not, something like that is purely a possession call, so the inconsistencies of some of the calls will be a little bit baffling for players. They just want to know which way it's going to get called, and they'll adapt to how the referees are managing the game. But nonetheless, Owen Sound will be able to go back on the power play here.
McKenzie, McNabb, back for Colin McKenzie. Cascanet, McKenzie, back for Jordan Cascanet. McKenzie again will fire. That one will go wide. Can Cascanet catch? He should be able to, and he does. 12 left to work here. McMillan, right across for McNabb. McNabb will fire, scores! Jake McNabb with his third of the day makes it 8-4.
And a great effort by Jordan Cascanet again. Retrieving that loose ball before it got over the restraining line, keeping it alive. And Jordan McMillan swing pass across the zone to Jake McNabb, and Jake does what he does. Shoots 5-hole. Must have had the room of a ball to get through, and he found it. And again, big power play marker gets them in that 4-goal lead.
Tied up there between the Merchants and Owen Sound, picked up by Cloper. Cloper was just on the right side of the red line. He'll try to get over now, and I think he'll roll it by everybody. Quickly up the 4 for Osborne. Osborne never caught it, however, as he'll get forced into the boards by Dale. Right over now for the new runner. That shot low, saved by Gavin Clark. Highland was the shooter there, as away will now come Braden Kruger. As he'll cruise in, and he'll hand it off now for Dale. Dale. Will be a minor call behind the play. I'm not exactly sure what was called there.
Yeah, that was another big slash by Highland. So again, needless penalty off ball. Probably frustrated on the bad shot he took on the offensive side.
And that shot saved there as it kept in play. So another chance here for Owen Sound. Malcolm Moyle back for McMillan, the shooter McKenzie. McNabb's going to fire. That one saved off the shoulder. It bounces towards McMillan. McMillan can't retrieve it, and that will finally be the whistle. I would almost thought for a second there they were going to give Dale Falbert the red carpet there, but finally the whistle does go. And away will go one of the Merchants, and it looks like to be Quinn Highland. And they call it a slash.
Yeah, and that was definitely a slash. I mean, it was, again, no need for that. Certainly looked a big swing, big noise.
3 power play goals right now for Owen Sound, so we'll see if they can get their 4th one here. McKenzie, Cascanet, McKenzie. Or McNabb. McNabb fired at 5-hole, had a spot there, but it was a good save by the netminder.
Yeah, I think it was pretty close.
That ball got looped past the intended target. Still hadn't been able to retrieve it just yet. Now does. Played up for Renault.
Too many men. Look at 3 referees.
And they finally noticed.
Yeah. The crowd gave him a little help there. So.
Well, you gotta love the help.
The funny thing is, the Merchants got away with it, and when the guy almost stepped into the bench, he stepped back out.
Yeah, they finally called it. It looks like Zach Pfeiffer's going to be the one sitting down, I assume. They got to send somebody. And it will be Zach Pfeiffer. So 5-on-3 now for Owen Sound. Penalties now mounting for the Brooklyn Merchants here tonight. Barfoot, McNabb, McMillan, Maudsley, McMillan, got a pass, nice catch, still can't fire, McMillan, great save by Knott, off the post though, so kept up by Barfoot. Rep down now for, that ball whistled over McMillan's head, still looped up, and Maudsley now. Trying to swim away there is Maudsley. Maudsley will take the bump. Maudsley towards the net, Maudsley in, that's another good save by Knott. Just couldn't get a hold of it there was McKenzie. McNabb will retrieve it, however. And a fresh shot clock will come in.
I'm sure they're going to get.
Ooh, and another call's going against the Merchants there on the head contact to Barfoot. McNabb looking to fire, never gets a chance to. Fires now, and it's a save by Knott. And Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, but that minor won't start till the first one stops, or the first one comes off the board. So that minor will not stop for another 41 seconds. So it'll be an extended 5-on-3 for Owen Sound, unless their goal is scored.
Yep.
And again, that was another pretty obvious one going against Costello as he caught Barfoot right in the chops.
So what they do have, I think they have a new rule here where they do not stack the penalties. What they will do
is take off the first one.
Is they get a penalty shot.
Oh, instead of the double minor, but they keep the 5-on-3.
Yes, and I also believe they take the 41 off the clock, then put up the new 2.
And so the first penalty's taken off, but the penalty shot replaces it.
Yeah, so I think that's, as we look at the board there, the 108 stays, the 2 goes on the board. And
who's going to shoot, though?
Owen Sound, well, likely, I'm sure they'll give it to Jake. I don't know the breakaways or Jake's forte, but Jake scores in every manner possible, so I'm sure he is probably the best candidate to be awarded this opportunity.
That's sometimes, though, Steve, where NHL teams run into problems, right? Is you think, oh, well, our best scorers are our best shootout takers, and that may not be true. They may not be as creative or as maybe stick handling heavy as some other players.
Yeah, you're correct there. You just never know sometimes. There's a guy that has a knack for scoring in all the shootout tournaments they have at practice, and sometimes they're given that opportunity when who you might think would be.
It's kind of like free throws too. Sometimes you got guys who are really good at free throws who can't do much else, so you just throw them out there in the last couple minutes to take some clutch free throws to get you through the end.
So we'll see there again. Deacon very athletic. He will go for some fakes, but he's also quick as a cat. So Jake may just want to look for a hole and try to beat him straight on.
That's a shot, and it is a save there.
Yeah. Tried to go 5-hole and looks like he put it right in Deacon's stick. He didn't flinch at all.
But you also saw there the technique of Deacon Knott. He didn't even really move. He took, what, one step?
He's got a really wide stance. Dare should have to
go 5-hole.
Yep, and he was able to squeeze that stick up against the leg and block that between the leg shot by Jake. But nonetheless, Owen Sound is back to it, so the draw is pretty important for them to gain possession so they get a longer opportunity on this 5-on-3 situation.
That's now gone from 41 seconds to 1 minute and 8 seconds.
And Peyton Wallace out there to take the draws. And again, I coached Peyton in the Arena League. Didn't recall him being a draw guy, but...
Well, Clover's got to go back and retrieve it after Stevenson won it. That ball is still tied up. Nobody's gotten it. So I'm not sure if they ever had possession to get the 8-second call.
There was never a possession awarded there, so a great job by Peyton Wallace to track that down and chew up probably 15 seconds.
McNabb, what a pass, McMillan scores! Quick stick by Jordan McMillan, gets his third of the night, and it's 9-4 Owen Sound.
And I think that's the first time we've seen Jordan quick stick it. He's got a little hitch in his shot every time he's had an opportunity like that on the crease, and the way to beat Deacon is just to release, catch and release right away, Yes, there you go. Because he is so quick getting over there laterally that if you get that little hitch and try to hold it, he's going to be there and take your angle away. So again, great execution, and again, they get in the minute 32 here on the power play, so they want to really keep the pressure on the Merchants.
That they do. Carson won it, but it's going to be retrieved there by the Merchants.
Yeah.
And obviously he received that one on the right side of the red line. I thought he went over and back there for a second, but he got it really close.
Yeah, on the draw, you can direct, if your momentum is coming back across the red line, you are able to cross once. So
as Ed Renault gets tied up there by Doolittle, can't fire away. That pass in front never made it, got way to the target. Caught by Renault off the glass, though, and Doolittle throws him down, I guess, technically, and the whistle will finally come here. And Doolittle's going to get the call, and he's upset because it wasn't the official nearest. It was the official, again, 30 or 40 feet away.
This is Wilson's third penalty he's called when he's the furthest referee from the way. If these other two guys aren't capable of making calls, then they might be in the wrong league. But again, it's happened both ways. I mean, both teams are going to be frustrated about it. But again, as players, you just hope that there's consistency, and I guess Wilson is consistent in thinking that he has a better vision than everybody else that's closer to the play.
And again, on second look, Steve, it kind of looked like the player just fell. It looked like Renault kind of got you'll say grab, but more just kind of lost his footing as Doolittle made contact, so that's why he fell that way.
And again, he is a strong player.
That shot deflected into the netting. Stick got deflected there. It's going to stay Owen Sound. It's going to go Owen Sound's way. Barfoot, the one there in the way of the Colton McNutt attempt. Barfoot will now bounce it. It makes its way to Aiden Doak. Doak now over the red line. He's got to find a way to move it here. He'll take a bump for his trouble. Plays it off now to McKenzie. 4-on-4 now for another 25 seconds or so. Picked up now by, I think that's Fitzpatrick. Gets forced in. Ball comes loose, and away will come the Brooklyn Merchants. Up for Osborne. Osborne didn't have the red carpet this time, as Barfoot's the first one there to meet him. And Osborne will think better and wait for some reinforcements.
Yeah, they're going to get a brief power play. Well, they'll get a power play a little under a minute here, but they're going to have possession in about 3 seconds where they'll go on the power play.
As Highland will fire, that's a good save there. That ball will bounce out, and I think the shot was on target as, Kruger got caught up high.
Okay, now Wilson immediately raised his arm as if he was going to call a penalty and then pulled it down and just possession. And if there was a reason
to get off.
Again, that was a blatant high hit on a guy that did not have the ball. So just another inconsistent call here, or non-call, I guess, in that matter.
Mods is going to fire it. That one right into the chest protector. That ball's going to be fired up, and it misses the intended target, so a chance there for Clark to catch it, and he does. As he'll play it now for Rob Klopfer, but he misses, so McNabb's going to be the first one there. McNabb can't retrieve it, but Klopfer does, and that should be just about the rest of this minor here if Owen Sound plays this right. As McMillan's now got possession. 1:05 left here in the second frame. 8 seconds left on the minor. 12 seconds left on the shot clock. Played now for McNabb. McNabb trying to get around, get a shot on target. He does, and it's easily saved there. So back to 5-on-5 we go. Played up there for Pfeiffer. That's Zach Pfeiffer. Plays it off for Ed Renault.
They're going to look for a real good defensive set here. This will be the last possession Brooklyn has in the period, so you want to be able to shut them down.
Devin Pfeiffer for Parker Pfeiffer. Parker Pfeiffer rolls it back for Devin. Devin going to fire, but Klopfer's in his face. 5 to shoot now. Devin Pfeiffer fires, and it is saved there by the netminder. Should be the last possession here of the period.
And again, would be a great time for a timeout. Yep.
And it is a timeout.
You get 2 per game, and they had not used one yet, so might as well use one up here. You only can have 1 per period, so.
And you don't get to keep them. If you lose it, if you don't use your timeout during the game, you don't get to keep them.
No, so this should give them an opportunity to go 6-on-5 and run a play here. But you want to make sure you execute. So we'll see if they doesn't appear that they're going to bring the goaltender. The gate is not open for them, but might be a missed opportunity, but they might be also satisfied with a 5-goal lead at this point and just want to make sure they maintain a good possession.
Well, that and Steve, if if you do take a shot, say quicker in the 19.5 that's left in this period, and there is a chance the other way, it's basically a free goal. So
yeah, but what you do, you would hold on to the ball
to
about 8 seconds before you go to run your play, and it'll just be a quick hitter. And if it's not there, there's far less of a chance for it to end up down the floor. So,
but standing about halfway up the bench there is Gavin Clark. So I am kind of perplexed. We'll see if Gavin Clark makes a run for it. As over the line slowly will come Jack Fitzpatrick, pardon me, is Jack Fitzpatrick. Plays it over now for McMillan. McMillan takes the fire, you thought. No, over for McKenzie. McKenzie will fire. It's a good save. And that will be the period as slow to get up. As some jawing there in front of the net, as slowly off the floor goes Peyton Wallace, as I'm not sure if McNabb got caught. McMillan's also getting sent. I'm not sure where.
Well, again, that's just, if they end up being a man short because of this, Peroni sucks them into a penalty. I mean, that's just undisciplined. And
who's barking? And they're sending Brooklyn off the floor here. Not sure if there was barking by the Brooklyn bench as they went off. I'm not 100% sure, Steve. Again, we're going to have to see how these penalties shake out during the intermission. Do stay tuned. During the second intermission, I get a chance to talk to Owen Sound captain Wyatt Barfoot. So stay tuned for that. But before we go, Steve, again, a really good period by Owen Sound. They were able to keep the momentum from the first into the second. They end up coming out 4-1 leaders in the period for goals and come out with a 5-goal lead, their largest of the night.
yeah, and again, I think the Merchants really would be guilty of the undisciplined play there. A lot of power play opportunities going on.
The regulars, the guys who keep this place in business. Last week, they had something to celebrate. Jason had just finished university. So they toasted his profs, his TAs, his old roommates. Well, they toasted just about everyone. But I worry about and take care of my guys. So even when I know they're not driving, sometimes that means bringing them a little surprise. And then they had a drink to me.
Brought to you by Smart Serve Ontario and Arrive Alive, Drive Sober.
Are you a passionate content creator ready to expand your audience reach? Do you have unique stories, captivating hobbies, or special interests that deserve a spotlight? Rogers TV is here to amplify your voice within the community. We offer you the platform to broadcast your content to a wider audience. And the best part, it's completely free. Don't miss this opportunity to share your vision and engage with viewers. Find out how Rogers TV can transform your content journey today.
Everybody knows not to drink and drive, but some people still think it's okay to take drugs and drive. Police have the authority, the ability, and the tools to determine if drivers are impaired by legal or illegal drugs. And because drug-impaired drivers can pose just as great a risk as drunk drivers, they face the same penalties, like the loss of their driver's license, a criminal record, fines, and more. A message from the RCMP, the Canadian Association of Chiefs of Police, and Arrive Alive, Drive Sober.
Hi, I'm Carol Merton, host of We All Belong, Our Neighbors, Our Community, a new Rogers TV series promoting the diversity of our community in Grey County. Please join me on Rogers TV. Hi, I'm Carol Merton, host of HealthLink on Rogers TV. HealthLink connects home, community, and healthcare with interesting topics and speakers about your health and your community.
Welcome everyone back here to the Meaford and St. Vincent Community Center second intermission. Joining me now, captain of the Owen Sound North Stars, Wyatt Barfoot. Wyatt, big win for you guys yesterday against Ennismore, 13-4. What do you feel like really led to your success yesterday?
We just needed to get the rest off, second game of the year, so finally things started clicking, offense is working good, and defense shut them down. So that's what we want to do for the rest of the season.
Now, obviously, Gavin Clark has been a bright spot for you guys the last two games against Six Nations and Ennismore. What have you been impressed by his play so far in his first two games of OSL season?
Yeah, he's a solid goalie. Big guy, covers the net well, and he's doing good for us back there. Lots of talk, so we got confidence in him, and we should be good.
Brooklyn coming into tonight, they are a team that was in the President's Cup last year, hosting this year, want to be there without being the host. So I guess what's it like playing against a team that you know has aspirations of being in the President's Cup?
Yeah, the league's tough, and this team's no different. They're going to come in, try to prove themselves and get their season going off, and we're going to stop it. So it's going to be a good year, all playing against all the teams, and this is no different.
Wyatt, my last question here for you before I let you go. Wyatt, Brooklyn Merchants, what do you feel like is the big key to get a win here tonight?
We got to stop their transition. They're a fast team, young team, and especially us playing yesterday, we got to get to the bench quick and stop that. Other than that, just keep playing like we did.
All right, thank you so much, Wyatt Barfoot of the Owensound North Stars. Good luck.
Thanks, Spencer.
We'll be right back with the rest of the second intermission after this on Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm David Shearman, host of Politically Speaking on Rogers TV. Join me this fall for more interviews with our local, provincial, and federal politicians. Politically Speaking on Rogers TV.
Are you a passionate content creator ready to expand your audience reach? Do you have unique stories, captivating hobbies, or special interests that deserve a spotlight? Rogers TV is here to amplify your voice within the community. We offer you the platform to broadcast your content to a wider audience. And the best part, it's completely free. Don't miss this opportunity to share your vision and engage with viewers. Find out how Rogers TV can transform your content journey today.
Sports is life. It's clear cut. Everything's out in the open. There's nowhere to hide. I had to prove myself more than anyone else.
You must be so proud of your son. He's gonna go pro. The sky's the limit.
There's always a winner and a loser.
You cannot reach the sky in broken cleats.
Of course, I always want to be the winner. And I did reach the sky.
Norman Kwong, the first Chinese-Canadian professional football player, still holds records to this day. He retired from the sport in 1960 and later became Lieutenant Governor of Alberta.
Hi, I'm Lynn from Third Eye View, and welcome to a brand new season that we're looking forward to. We have some return guests and some brand new guests. And in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your summer, stay safe.
Welcome back here to the Meaford and St. Vincent Community Center. Spencer Byers alongside me, Steve McCarthy. 9-4 Owensound after 40 minutes of play. And Steve, something again we didn't talk about a lot during that period because of the parade to the penalty box for the Merchants is Owensound's defense continues to be a bright spot. And, you know, sometimes something not being talked about is a good thing, and your defense not being talked about is a great thing.
Yeah, again, they've been aggressive. Again, that period, Brooklyn spent so much time man down that they didn't have to defend a lot 5-on-5. There was a lot of 4-on-4 opportunities. They did a good job closing out, didn't let a lot of golden opportunities come their way. And Gavin Clark has, again, made some big saves, though, that sort of flattered the defensive play a little bit.
That he did, and he continues to be a really big bright spot. Gavin Clark is for this North Star team. And just before we go and get ready for the third period, Steve, my last thing here for you is Owensound's power play has been clicking here tonight and been very good. Merchants, not so much, but again, in that second period, they weren't able to get on the power play a whole lot because they got taken up even up minor. So I guess how do you see this third period transpiring with both teams getting maybe a little too hot-headed?
Well, again, I think Owensound, they have a 5-goal lead. They don't need to get involved in the shenanigans. They don't need to be, getting caught in the retaliatory calls. So they need to really just settle in, play it straight up 5-on-5 or 4-on-4 or whatever situation, stay out of the penalty box, and really provide great transition defense. Don't give up any quick hit goals because the clock is on their side. So, they don't want to give up quick hit opportunities, which will allow the Merchants to score without utilizing much time.
Well, we'll see if you're right. Third period underway. Up next here on Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm I'm Carol Merton, host of We All Belong, Our Neighbors, Our Community, a new Rogers TV series promoting the diversity of our community in Grey County. Please join me on Rogers TV. Hi, I'm Carol Merton, host of HealthLink on Rogers TV. HealthLink connects home, community, and healthcare with interesting topics and speakers about your health and your community.
Are you a passionate content creator ready to expand your audience reach? Do you have unique stories, captivating hobbies, or special interests that deserve a spotlight? Rogers TV is here to amplify your voice within the community. We offer you the platform to broadcast your content to a wider audience. And the best part, it's completely free. Don't miss this opportunity to share your vision and engage with viewers. Find out how Rogers TV can transform your content journey today.
This is a perfectly healthy child. What's unhealthy are birth alerts, a racist practice that may stop this Indigenous mother from going home with her newborn. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
I'm Wendell Clark with a word about winning. We all know it takes a team effort in any sport and with any challenge. You can be a part of the winning team that shuts out impaired driving. Whether you're out on the town or just hanging out with friends, drink responsibly. Always have a plan for a safe ride home for yourself, your family, and your friends. You'll be helping to shut out impaired driving.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
Welcome back here to the Meet for St. Vincent Community Center. Third period just began as Rob Klofer bounces through some checks and lost possession of it. So the 8 seconds are going to go. As Klofer and Pfeiffer are wrestling on the ground.
Again, that's just a bad decision for Rob Klofer not to move the ball, and then he takes a frustration penalty after the fact, a roughing call. So not only do they turn the ball over and on a face-off one, now they're going to be going down early to the power play in the third period.
Again, something that the Merchants have not been great on tonight is the power play. But with how much offensive talent, Steve, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah, and again, you expect your veteran players to know better and be better in situations like this. And again, Rob is an emotional player, a heart and soul kind of guy, but this really hurts your team to take a penalty 10 seconds into the third period. When you have possession of the ball and you're guilty of the one turning it over. So
Renault, Devin Pfeiffer, Renault, Devin Pfeiffer. Back for Ed Renault. Renault never able to find a shooting lane. Back for Parker Pfeiffer now and scores!
Oh.
Does Parker Pfeiffer, and back on the board go Brooklyn. Power play marker to boot.
Yeah, so again, this is just, they'll hurt you, and that 5-goal lead can evaporate in a nick of time. So you certainly don't want to hand over any more opportunities like that if you're cheering for the Merchants or cheering for the Owen Sound North Stars.
They did score their lone marker in the previous period. Or pardon me,
No, they did get 2 in the second there. They scored, but
the first one came very early in.
But here again, we have an opportunity to pick it up off the one face-off, and they overrun the ball, and the Merchants are right back on offense.
Renault, back for Devin Pfeiffer. Quickly up the floor will come Owen Sound now, however. It's with Wyatt Barfoot, who's going to get forced into the boards as he ropes his way around. Colin Maudsley now, got 10 to shoot. Nice fake, Maudsley in front, Maudsley! Great save there by Knott.
Yeah, great move, great job going right to the net, and great hustle on the loose ball. And Jordan McMillan's going to get possession here.
McMillan loses his footing and falls down, trying to fight through a check now. Never able to get away, and possession will go the Brooklyn Merchants' way.
And again, just a turnover, a one-on-one battle, and again, you got to keep the ball hot, keep it moving, keep your feet moving off ball, and not give up these short offensive possessions.
Parker Pfeiffer, who's got 3, is there fighting down with Kruger, it looks like. Kelly there in the corner fighting for it. Ball comes out and Kelly will get a hold of it. Kelly will move it up the floor. Over now for Kruger. Kruger's gonna get forced though here by Osborne. He'll now roll it back for Jordan McMillan. Smart play there by Kruger.
Yeah, it was. Great vision to know that Jordan had nobody really on him.
McMillan's gonna fire from a mile away. Nice save there by Knott. Ball bounces away for Cascanet, who'll get the fresh shot clock. But he's got a late Zach Pfeiffer coming his way. Cascanet for Jordan McMillan. McMillan now over for Fitzpatrick, Jack Fitzpatrick. Fires that one for McElmoyle, took a second to catch it. McElmoyle, got 10 left here to work on the shot clock. Do the North Stars. Cascanet couldn't catch that one. Gonna have to move it quick here. He's getting close to the red line, he'll just roll it. Smartly, might add. McElmoyle caught it and never got it on target. Smart play, though, as you mentioned earlier in the game by Cascanet, just to roll it.
Yeah, get it down deep in the corner where there's no transition opportunity before that shot clock expires.
Renault fires that one low, and it misses the newcomer in the Merchants, as Malloy does get a hold of it. Pfeiffer down for Elliott. Actually, it is Darren Elliott. As Elliott's trying to run around, he passes it, but misses Malloy. And the shot clock's gonna go. Miscommunication now by the Merchants.
Yeah, and a really good job on defense there. They handled everybody off ball, didn't allow the picks to be set and spring anybody loose. So they got to keep that consistency up and really tie the Merchants up in that manner.
Harris now with possession. Harris roped down the other way. He'll fire from an odd angle, saved there by Knott. Knott will end up getting the rebound as well. Played forward, and away will go Peyton Wallace.
And again, we hadn't seen a lot of Rob Harris there in the second period, and first opportunity here in the third. Again, took a bit of an ill-advised shot right in the bread basket of Deacon Knott.
Osborne trying to fight through a couple different checkers there, and Kelly and Doolittle, that will be an over and back there against the Merchants. So possession deep in the away end will go Owen Sound. It looks like McElmoyle will be the first one there. He'll be fending off Luke Maloney. McElmoyle for McKenzie, who's down for Fitzpatrick. Jake Fitzpatrick wide open. McElmoyle, great save there by Knott, pardon me. My goodness.
Yeah.
Almost did end up rolling in, however, but he's able to still keep it out there with Deacon Knott.
Nice feed by Fitzpatrick, and McElmoyle again, quick stick, but Deacon Knott's leg just happened to be in the way.
Nice move there by Pfeiffer, and an easy save there in the end of the wickets by Gavin Clark, and now Rob Clofer will race up the floor. Clofer will now rope off and play it there for Maudsley. Just about 5 gone here in the third period. Maudsley is going to fire it into the chest protector there, and Knott.
Again, that's just not a good play. You know, again, it's one guy touching the ball, a shot that really has no hope of going in, then you're forcing offensive guys to come back and play D because the transition is so quick. So, again, they got to do a better job here.
And into the net, and he did step in before he ever fired. There was Devin Pfeiffer.
And a great job by Kruger cutting them off. As he, again, took Jake Doolittle deep and a nice little cut back and got to the net, but Kruger cut that off, and there was no opportunity for him to stay out of the crease.
Cascanet plays it. And I got to mention something here, Steve. I haven't seen Jake McNabb yet in this third period.
Well, it's possible that both McNabb and Peroni possibly got tossed from the game, although I think I see Peroni out there.
Well, again, there was some extracurriculars as the period expired, and now McNabb will come out now.
Yeah, so
maybe like a 10-minute misconduct of some description,
no.
But he only played 5 minutes, so I'm intrigued. That one went off the helmet, I think, of Knott. No, apparently it didn't.
Well, they really haven't had a good full offensive possession, so it's possible he just didn't get out there, or if he did, we missed him. So.
Or if he did, we missed him. McNabb spinning, fires. Good save there by Knott as McNabb gets pushed away there. As now away will come Osborne, who's been dangerous in transition here tonight. Osborne takes a bump. Osborne looking to fire. He doesn't end up getting a chance. Pfeiffer will. ends up double clutching it and has to go away. Over now for Darren Elliott. Elliott's gonna fire. He got whacked, I think, by Barfoot on the knee as he's down. And Clark will play it as a... and they're gonna call a moving screen there against...
Well, again, it's just a dumb
Dale.
thing to do. Like, Owen Dale had no reason to be impeding the Brooklyn Merchant. He sold it to the referee, and just get out of the way. He was serving no purpose there.
That shot misses there by Devin Pfeiffer. That's deflected by Owen Sound, so it should be an over and, or won't be an over and back, but racing for it is Kelly. Caught though by Knott. But the shot clock doesn't reset, however, so Brooklyn may have misplayed that anyway.
Well, I think what they're saying is that because Owen Sound touched the ball, but it really, they did deflect it up near center, so I guess that would be the rule that they deemed that they forced it over the line and not it on its own. So.
But again, that doesn't mean a shot clock reset. So again, maybe a misplay there by Brooklyn as two different North Stars go down. So quickly in transition comes Morgan. Morgan looking to fire, never ends up getting a chance there as he's forced around by Rob Harris, who's having to play some defense here as he'll now go face up Devin Pfeiffer.
Yeah, Rob Harris is he's more of a defender than an O guy, but he has some good skill. And
play now for Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer right across. Never got a chance to fire. There was Highland. That shot goes wide. Harris now trying to still face guard the other Pfeiffer. Kruger tried to cherry pick, misses Devin Pfeiffer. Down for Parker Pfeiffer. Back up top there for Elliott. That shot is deflected, I want to say, by a sprawling Braden Kruger. As now Parker Pfeiffer. Over for Devin. Devin fires, and a good save there by... Good save there by Clark as a in-call goes the other way for Owen Sound. As Cascanet will race up the floor. Cascanet for McMillan. McMillan back for a newcomer, and it's Jack Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick looking to fire here for Cascanet. And there's gonna be a minor at the far end there as McMillan went down. Gonna fire here is McNabb. McNabb, good save there by Knott, I believe, but the shot clock and over and back will be called as finally the minor will go on the board. As McMillan was definitely thrown down. I didn't see it because it was off ball, Steve, but again, the off ball fouls on both sides, but specifically Brooklyn, the last two periods have been plentiful.
Yeah.
As now will go Nolan Ruddy.
Yeah, and Ruddy, who's a former Owen Sound North Star, actually got into a couple of games last year with the MSL club. Takes an ill-advised penalty against a player a foot shorter and 60 pounds lighter. And, at a time when the Merchants were starting to put together a little push here with some good offensive sets, they're going to go back to the man-down situation.
Maudsley, McKenzie, McNabb, McKenzie, Maudsley. Nice save there by the netminder Knott, but again, up to the floor and retrieved by Dawson McKenzie. McNabb, back for looked to be Maudsley, but never got completed as away is going to go the Merchants, and it's Costello. And possession now for Robert Morgan as he'll hold it and try to chew up the 30-second shot clock here.
Yeah, I think they're going to want to make sure that they have a safety there, playing down low, just reading the play, because you don't want to give up anything going to the net here.
Peyton Wallace now going to fire. It's saved there, but he's going to play, so it might be a new possession, and it is a new possession for the Merchants.
Tough there on Gavin Clark. He's going to want to corral that rebound. You just chewed up another 30 seconds potentially off the penalty here.
As just can't retrieve it, though. There was Osborne for a second as Kelly went to play pursuer there, as Barfoot's now going to go play pursuer on Osborne. But again, Steve, in fairness, if Owen doesn't think to score on the power play, but a chance there for the Merchants as Osborne goes sprawling, but a good save by Clark.
Yeah, and again, because Osborne slid through the crease there, it was a crease call. But again, you can't allow one player to beat two men down low. So you got to be able to cut that off. And Osborne, I know, is a handful. He is a bull. He's a strong guy, great low center of gravity, and he can get to the net against the best of them. So
Cascanet. McKenzie fakes it. Back for Cascanet. Will fire it. Scores! Cascanet makes it double digits for the North Stars. 10-5. They've doubled up.
Yeah, and again, nice shot by Jordan Cascanet. I'm not sure that Deacon Knott had a good view of that, and he really threaded the needle. took his time.
It was our riser.
Little catch and shoot situation here, and yep, up top, Deacon Guest the other way.
That restores the 5-goal lead for Owen Sound. It is another power play marker, and with halfway gone the third period, the Merchants got to find a way to claw themselves out of this hole. And staying out of the box may be the first ingredient to that recipe. As that ball was bounced into the boards and hard in was, I believe, Quinn Highland as him and Cloper collided.
And I don't know how that wasn't a call against Robbie Cloper again.
I think Clofer's maybe apologizing as he walks by.
Yeah.
I don't think Clofer meant to hit him that way. Or maybe was there saying he went down easy. I'm not 100% sure. McElmoyle. Over now there for Harris. Harris will get the screen. Harris bounces through a couple of checks, just trying to find a way around, as again, they're happy to use the rest of the shot clock, and they do.
And again, there's no issue with that. Taking it up, using up that 30. If you don't have something, don't try to throw it into crowds. Don't turn the ball over. Give up transition. That's as mundane as it may seem, that wasn't a bad situation for Rob Harris to put himself in.
Well, again, you almost could say Owen Sound's fighting the clock more than they are the Merchants at this point, with a 5-goal lead with 11 minutes gone in the hourglass for the Merchants. As both teams are probably fighting the clock a little bit here, as Kruger now retrieves it. And Kruger's gonna go. And again, Kruger's got some speed to burn here, and he'll make it over center. As Kruger will now hand it off to Jake McNabb. And you also could say, Steve, with not say McNabb for the first 5 minutes, it feels like, it also could be a preservation thing, knowing he's played 2 games in 2 days. And they're up big, so why force your, really, I'll say, best players out there when you don't necessarily need to? Is McMillan, good save there by Knott, as Knott's gonna fire it, and he'll have a wide open man, and that's Parker Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer, up for Ed Renault. Renault, trying to bounce around. Devin Pfeiffer now, got a guy in behind the net. Gets there to Osborne, most is gonna go, and it's a possession call going against the Merchants there as Parker Pfeiffer, and I believe that's Rob Clofer got tangled again. As forced into the boards, there goes Wyatt Barfoot. He'll take another couple bumps. He did get over, but he lost it. So a chance here for Parker Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer in, shot, great save by Gavin Clark, but a rebound retrieved by the Merchants.
Again, there's just another opportunity missed. You're trying to use your legs to get over the restraining line, and the ball moves faster than the feet.
Fighting through contact, Renault, that shot was deflected before it ever got to Clark. Pfeiffer now will get pushed down by Doolittle. Ball will get rolled and picked up by Owen Sound as Cloper will go the other way. As he'll balance it for McElmoyle. The sand at the hourglass is really putting a toll here on the Merchants. Cascanet. Owen Sound again, just happy to chew up 30 seconds here. The shot clock passed in front. Shot! Whistle's gonna go, and it's a timeout or T. I think that's a T. I assume it's an unsportsmanlike. Who's it going against? McNabb? Okay, somebody got a T.
And once again, it came from the back official.
As McNabb is going to go for the unsportsmanlike conduct. So another power play here for the Merchants, who again have not found their footing on said power play, but giving them opportunities is not going to help that fact. Renault, Parker Pfeiffer, Devin Pfeiffer. Go. Devin Pfeiffer, back for Parker, over for Ed Renault. Renault gonna fire, a good save there by Clark, bounce right into the feet there of Owen Dale. Dale, forward, misses the intended target though of Doolittle. Ball rolled and rolls continues as diving there was McMillan, and McMillan almost got there. McMillan did technically get there, and McMillan's still fighting for it. Play a little bit of croquet there as McMillan and him get tangled up. And he gets grabbed there late by Adam Peroni. And again, Peroni's probably got 4 inches and 20 or 30 pounds on poor Jordan McMillan as Devin Pfeiffer. Down low for Osborne. Parker Pfeiffer, Devin Pfeiffer. Fires, good save there. Parked up by Parker Pfeiffer. Minute 08 left on the power play. Renault, back for Devin Pfeiffer. Parker Pfeiffer looking for an angle, never got it on target. As Devin Pfeiffer retrieves it again. That one never made it on target, so no fresh shot clock. Renault looking to fire, back for Devin Pfeiffer, who's gonna shoot. That's another good save by Gavin Clark. But again, the possession stays with the Merchants. A lot of kicks to the can here for the power play. Parker Pfeiffer, Renault, Highland. Devin Pfeiffer shoots, that one wide, and that will go for the over and back. So still nothing going there for the Navy shirts.
And Owen Sound has an opportunity with a full possession here to kill this power play of the Merchants. So.
As the ball starts with, I believe that is
Jordan McMillan's got it down low there.
Couldn't see his orange shoes, looking for the orange shoes. McMillan. Trying to scoot around. He does. He'll get forced into the corner, however, as he'll just try to one-man this, and that might not be a great idea. Forced into the corner, still got possession of it, however.
No, it was not.
Now does lose it, I thought. Possession did change, however. Who's got it? Oh, it's here at center floor, as Porter was still up against the glass. Now again, I'm not sure how that's not holding, but we'll slide over that as Parker Pfeiffer. Power play expires. He misses his recipient. Nice hit there by Doolittle. As the ball should come loose, and it does, as Andrew Kelly's got a hold of it, and Kelly's gonna go. Kelly's gonna swing by Parker Pfeiffer. Didn't lose it, but Parker wasn't looking for it. Under 5 to go now here in the third. Owens out looking for their second win of the year. Second in the weekend. Fired now there for McMillan. Got 10 left on the shot clock. Down low 4, that looks to be Rob Harris. Very spread out right now with the North Stars. Harris, nice move. Harris in, great save by Knott. Has played up and away will go to Brooklyn. As Robert Morgan will cruise in. Morgan looking to fire and he just scores! Robert Morgan gets on the board. Just trying to get anything going. There was Robert Morgan, and he does.
And again, just a transition goal given up here, and you just don't want to get outnumbered coming down, and it was a 3-on-2 situation. They let Morgan walk right in. And really, it was a 3-on-2, but nobody took the ball carrier. So it was a 3-on-3. Again, a miscommunication there on Owen Sound, but they come back and win the draw here.
Barfoot will chase down into the corner. As he'll get held up. Barfoot still trying to fight through the two guys as he's getting kind of pushed behind the net. And Knott will take a hack at it and he'll get a hold of it. But foul went Barfoot and possession will go to Owen Sound.
Yeah, just not a wise play there. Deacon whacked the ball loose, and they got an opportunity to come up the floor, and they dumped Barfoot to give up possession.
Bodsley back for McNabb. Again, Owen's unhappy to just shoot 30 seconds every time they get possession. And that's what they've been doing. And again, you can say very smartly by Owen Sound. As McElmoyle got 10 left here on the shot clock. Back for Cascanet. Cascanet looking to fire it. He does. Good save there by Knott. Not looking for it. There was Maudsley. As that ball should be retrieved by, you thought, by Owen Sound. And Maudsley has a chance at it. Maudsley gets tripped up and can't get a hold of it. As now Parker Pfeiffer back with it. He'll get forced into the boards there by a couple different white shirts. And the whistle's gonna go, and an illegal screen, I thought. Well, it's a penalty going against the Brooklyn Merchants, and it's Darren Elliott. And again, I'm not exactly sure. Illegal cross-check, Steve?
Again, typically those are, again, it's just the inconsistency of the calls. Typically those will go as a possession call. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be illegal cross-checks when they're forceful picks to the back. But, yeah, we've seen them go either way numerous times tonight, and Owen Sound will take advantage of the opportunity with 3:11 to go. They don't need any goals, so they don't have to put themselves in any kind of precarious situation at any point during this man-up. So I would expect to see a real controlled effort here and get some shots away, but make sure that you have somebody covering the top side, that you don't give up anything in transition.
As possession will go to Owen Sound as Cascanet, McMillan. Again, I think just happy to chew up this 30 seconds. Don't need to score to Owen Sound, up by 4 here in the latter stages of the game. Cascanet. McKenzie. Pass across top there between the 3 guys there as back for McKenzie. Cascanet. Pass the parcel there between the 2. Back for McKenzie. McKenzie's going to fire it. That's right off a knot, so it's going to stay with Owen Sound.
Yeah.
You can see the Brooklyn coaches pulling their hair out there on the bench. We'll mention our next telecast of lacrosse will be next weekend down in Durham as the Junior Bees start their home schedule against Welland. You get to see that at, I think it's 8 p.m. sharp down in Durham. Actually, I think it's 7 p.m. sharp down in Durham. And then 2 p.m. the next day against Orangeville. As Cascanet playing past the parcel there between him and McKenzie. Now for McNabb. McNabb will fire. Good save there by Knott. And now racing the other way will go Costello. Costello chased by 3 different North Stars, however. Costello trying to get through. He does! And that ball goes wide. As picked up there by Clark.
Great effort by Costello there, 1-on-3, and he still got away an opportunity to score, and but was unsuccessful, and we can grind out another 30 seconds here on the Owen Sound power play if they so choose to continue to kind of move the ball around and limit their shots.
Gotta wonder here if Declan Knott's gonna run or I guess when this power play expires here for Owen Sound, as Cascanet fires that one deflected wide, so it won't be over and back. They do keep it. No, whistle does go. Rob Harris didn't get the reset. Played up now. Just crossing the line there is Liam Osborne. Penalty will expire about halfway through the shot clock for what's left on it. Played into the middle, it misses, and Rob Cloper wasn't able to retrieve it, just whack it away from Renault. So Cloper will make his way into the offensive zone, and again, just hold it and wait. So the power play is expired for Owen Sound. That does not matter with a minute left here in the 3rd period, as Owen Sound, without some sort of miracle or divine intervention, will get their 2nd win of the weekend and 2nd win of the season here tonight against the Brooklyn Merchants. Right towards the net there went McKenzie. McKenzie got it on target. As Barfoot tried to play offensive defense there, but away will come the Merchants. Renault looked for the shot. Not gone to the bench, did not, so it will be just 5-on-5. Well, now he will go as Devin Pfeiffer shoots in off the post. Picked up by Parker Pfeiffer. 6-on-5 for the last 22 seconds here. That shot, saved there again. Parker Pfeiffer can't get a hold of it, and an out call?
I have no idea what this call is.
Not sure.
No.
Well, 14 seconds left here in the 10-6 game. Parker Pfeiffer gonna fire. Can they get one last one? The answer is ball stuck here. Everyone fighting for it, gonna fire. That one not on target, and that will be the game. 10-6 final between the North Stars and the Merchants, as Owen Sound collects their 2nd win of the season and the 2nd win of the weekend. And again, Steve, a much-deserved win against this high-powered Brooklyn Merchants team. A big win for the North Stars as they play Collingwood next weekend here in Meaford, but are the listed away side for that matchup next Saturday on the 10th. And there's some late penalties coming in here as the game expires, so we'll see how those shake out as well. But Steve, a big win for Owen Sound, and after that rough loss to Six Nations down in Durham, being up, as you mentioned, 7-3 in the second, up I think 7-4 in the 3rd period going into it, and aren't able to pull out the victory, are able to pull out 2 big ones here against Ennismore and this Brooklyn Merchant squad.
Yeah, especially today after coming off a grinding effort yesterday, even though they started out with the big lead. It was a close game, 2nd and 3rd period, and they had to put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that effort and to bounce back and get that early lead today. And and to maintain it. I mean, there was mistakes made on both sides of the ball, no question, but another outstanding goaltending effort by Gavin Clark, and their shooters came through with goals that they so desperately need to spread out the offense. But Jordan McMillan back in the lineup today, I think chipped in with another 3. So Jake McNabb again leading the way, and Cascanet with timely goals. So their offensive studs came out, and they got great defensive effort all over the floor.
Well, I'd honestly say, Steve, that obviously yesterday's first period, the 9-1 lead over Ennismore, was their best period of the weekend, but this was probably their best game of the weekend. I think Ennismore, obviously, you mentioned the second and third periods, they kind of felt like as you mentioned, they were kind of playing to the score and not playing the game. But tonight, because of obviously Brooklyn Merchants' power, they really did have to play a full 60, and I think they did tonight. Yeah, and again, anytime the Merchants come in with not their full lineup, you want to take advantage of it. 2 points are 2 points, no matter you get them at the beginning of the season or the end. And there are going to be a lot of teams that don't beat the Merchants this year, So that's an important 2 points to get, especially at home. So, they got to be happy with a 2-1 start, considering where they came into the season with a lot of question marks. And, I'm sure the coaching staff will be happy almost as much as the players will, getting a couple of W's back-to-back. Well, the Senior B North Stars will be back next weekend here in Meaford against Collingwood, but we'll be back with Junior B action next weekend down in Durham as they take on Welland and I believe Cambridge next weekend. But for Steve McCarthy and myself, Spencer Byers, the great Mark Perry behind the camera, we'll see you next weekend here on Rogers TV.
Due to the length of the preceding program, we now join the regularly scheduled program already in progress.
Or negotiate and see a relaxation on tariffs, and what will that relationship be like going forward? Two different parties were neck and neck, both proposing very similar promises and outcomes, and both were there to proclaim that they had the message towards defending Canada's sovereignty, and that is what Canadians expect and demanded. And I think the outcome is that we have certainly shown our neighbors to the south and shown other world leaders Canada is not for sale. Congratulations for getting out and voting.
This is, I think, an historic day for the city of Barrie, and certainly one that's going to support our environment going forward. We always talk about how blessed we are in the city of Barrie to have the picturesque environment that we have, and it's really important that we ensure that these items are preserved for the future. And so in consultation with Council, we are recognizing that we have over 300 hectares of park space, 88 kilometers of public trails, and today we're doubling down to protect our natural environment. The City of Barrie has previously acquired lands around Little Lake to preserve them as natural heritage and to eventually create a trail system similar to what's being done at Kempenfelt Bay. And I want to stop there for a second and highlight the word previously. This is not a commitment that was made by this council today in terms of acquiring land. It's been done over the last 20 years, and every single one of those councils needs to be recognized for thinking ahead, for looking ahead, and ensuring that we can preserve our local environment. The total acres of land that we own at Little Lake is approximately 340 acres. I'm about to sign a mayoral direction to staff to report to General Committee on the creation of a conservation trust to protect lands in the area of Little Lake and other environmentally sensitive areas in and around Barrie, including a framework, budget, and authority to be functioning by the end of 2026. The council members of the trust will include myself, Deputy Mayor Thompson, Councillor Kungel, Councillor Negussi, and Councillor Harvey. And it's my intention to not just include the Little Lake lands, but to look at, as I said, the Bear Creek wetlands, the Ardagh Bluffs. By creating a conservation trust, we're making long-term concrete commitments to the future of our natural environment ensuring these lands remain undeveloped for future generations to enjoy. This Conservation Trust will act as an independent board and ensure these lands will be environmentally protected in perpetuity. As per the current official plan, there are 4,261 acres of EP land in the City of Barrie. Staff will be reporting back on exactly which lands will be recommended to be included in the Conservation Trust, and we'll be focusing on City of Barrie owned lands. In doing this, we're not only protecting habitats for plants and wildlife, but we're also ensuring that future residents will continue to enjoy the natural environment that Barrie has become so well known for. I think that the actual trail creation is going to take a long period of time, but what this will do is allow a group of individuals to get together, to work on it, to fundraise for it, and to move forward with a plan that's going to protect our natural environment and at the same time allow for our residents to enjoy that natural environment that is Little Lake. What we're doing is